What's good? I'm Fitz, and this is my list for the top 10 wrestling managers. Now, at number 10, it was a close call between James Mitchell and this guy, but for me, Paul Bearer, more iconic wrestlers that he's managed, and more iconic storylines. Don't forget, he's Kane's father. Storyline, that's legit. Kayfabe, he was poking Undertaker's mum. It's wild business. So yeah, Paul Bearer number 10 for me, it's deserved. Even if it's just for that fact and just so I could say that he was piping Undertaker's mum. That's wild. Number 9, I'm gonna go with China. Now, I'm talking early China where China didn't talk, didn't do anything except for just ragdoll people around and just everyone was just confused like who she was, what she was. Like, it was wild, some of the shit that was being said on commentary about China at the time, especially with Jerry Lawler there. Like, absolutely insane. But yeah, the aura that China brought, and I never really liked Triple H, but the fact that she was able to make that character like really interesting to the point where it made sense that he was now working with Shawn Michaels shortly after. Like, yeah, I really did appreciate China's work. Number 8, I'm gonna go with Marlena again. Like, Goldust was nobody's favorite character, but when Marlena came out, now everyone was a bit more confused with what's going on here. Like, it was always kind of presented as a very let's play on the homophobic aspect of society at the time. And then basically when Marlena came in, everyone was like, well, this guy is not what we thought he was. So what's going on? And for me, that actually elevated the Goldust character like tenfold, because it went from playing on cheap stereotypes to actually like, this is intriguing now. I want to see where this goes and what develops here. And as it storylines went on and it all came out that Marlena was actually Terry Runnels, his wife, and all that, like, it actually did do a lot for Goldust. As much as like the later years, yeah, it wasn't good for his storyline development with some of the stuff that was coming out. But yeah, like I say, Marlena definitely, early days of Goldust, like, made that character so much more memorable. um I do feel like Goldust might have been a pass in the night kind of character if it wasn't for Marlena. Number 7, I'm gonna go with Francine. Now, she made Shane Douglas actually like main event level, because for me, I never saw Shane Douglas as main event level. But as soon as he was in ECW and Francine's coming out, he's like the head like football player with the head cheerleader, and like it worked. And like her reaction to the crowd chanting like ECW type chants, it was really really good. It was good heel work. It was good, like, because she was less of a manager and more of a valet, more like Marlena and that. But yeah, she executed it very well, almost like the polar opposite of a Miss Elizabeth type valet. But for me, yeah, she was top notch, and she elevated Shane Douglas so much, and it's like, well, that's the job of a manager. Number 6, I'm gonna go with Sonny. Now, Sonny, like, she was such a good heel, such a good heel. Like, talking, even just her ringside antics, and like the way that she'd like cause a commotion for distraction, and she'd strop away from people and try and like provoke people with being like seductive. And yeah, like, she was really 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 talented. Obviously, personality wise, she seems to be a bit of a yeah, but like I say, we're talking wrestling managers, and as wrestling managers go, I do feel like she was superb for a heel manager. And like, for the tag teams that she actually managed, like, they were, nobody cared about the body donners or the smoking guns, but she actually made them interesting. And the work that Like when Owen and Bulldog released the big picture on like above the ring, and it had the mustache drawn onto it and stuff like that. Like some really good moments with her there, and like I say, for me, definitely deserves to be on this list. Number five, I'm gonna go with Bill Alphonse. Bill Alfonso, RVD's manager, Sabu's manager in ECW. Now, yeah, he was just an annoying guy that ran around blowing the whistle, but he was essentially like the modern day Jimmy Hart for me, and he worked really well. And if you ever watched this a match that I specifically remember where RVD and Sabu was facing each other, and he was managing both, and he somehow had to like manage both evenly and fairly and not like take sides over anything, and even like down to the ring announcer and it like introducing them. He's on RVD's side doing all the RVD shtick, and then as soon as he starts directing towards Sabu, he diverts, kind of like changes into a different character, and now he's doing this Sabu shtick. Like midway through the match, he's like time out, gives them both a bottle of water and that. Like he was a very very clever manager, and he could get heat. And when like RVD and Sabu weren't heels, he could also like he was almost endearing in how annoying and geeky he was. You know what I mean? Especially after the match that he had with Bueller, where Bueller just beat him up for like 10-15 minutes and made him bleed all over the arena. Like, how could you not like Bill Alphonse? Number four, I'm gonna go Jimmy Hart. No, again another annoying heel manager, but he was so effective. Like he managed wrestlers that, for me, like Dino Bravo should not be in my memory still to this day, but he is because of Jimmy Hart. You know what I mean? And obviously he's worked with like people like the Nasty Boys and Earthquake and stuff. Like yeah, he was a top tier manager, and you've got to give him props for that. Top five, I feel is fair for a Jimmy Hart. Now we're getting into the serious elite, and essentially you should know who these three are, and it's just a case of what order are they gonna be in. For me, number one is always gonna be a lock, but these number three and number two, you could kind of alternate these if you wanted to. But for me, number two, I'm gonna go with Bobby the Brain Heenan. Like such a smart talker, so clever, so quick, like yeah, elevated everyone that he worked with so many big names, big talents, like Bobby the Brain Heenan. And number three. Number two, I'm gonna go Jim Cornette. Such a good talker, that he was insane. Again, so quick, so fast with it. He was essentially Bobby the Brain Heenan, but from the south. But for me, Jim Cornette still to this day one of the best talkers in the business. And then top, we're gonna go Paul Heyman. It's gotta be on it. Probably the best talker in the business still to this day. Um, Manages some of the top tier talent still to this day. Always has, always will do, kind of thing. Yeah, it's hard to argue that he's not the best of all time. So one more time, I'm gonna run through this for you. Hopefully, it'll be on the screen to assist. We're gonna go number 10, Paul Bearer. Number 9, China. Number 8, Marlena. Number 7, Francine. Number 6, Sonny. Number 5, Bill Alfonso. Number 4, Jimmy Hart. Number 3, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Number 2, Jim Cornette. And number 1, Paul Heyman. Now let me know who shouldn't have been on the list, who should have been on the list, who should be higher, who should be lower, all that there. Let me know who your favourite manager of all time is. Yeah, like, subscribe, all that there. Catch you on the next one.